What's going on, guys? Trucker J is back here. As you can see by my background, I am home. I am finally done with school. Took the test, passed it the second time. Piece of advice, when you're doing the road test, don't hit a fucking curb. Fucking hit the curb. Took the right turn, trailer, rubbed up against it, had to take that bitch over again. It is what it is, learning experience. But important news is I did finish it, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. Like I said, as you can see, I am home back in Texas, the great state of Texas. And yes, that is a 14-foot Christmas tree. You know how we do it here. And the saying goes, everything's bigger in Texas. Wink, wink. All right, stop. All right, seriously. So, final thoughts on Tennessee truck driving school. Overall, it was a great place. The instructors there were pretty well informative. They had a lot of experience with it. In reality, they only taught you basically the bare minimum you need to know to pass your test. They've got a class that starts every week. They got 3 classes going. They want to get as many people in and as many people as out as possible. Kind of think it's a little bit of the, money, but hey, it's a business. Don't hate the game or hate the player. No, don't hate the player, hate the game. So anyways, if you guys get ready to take your test, a little bit of a piece of advice for you guys. I know we're not really supposed to talk about the test, so I'll keep my stuff a little bit vague. But what's going to happen is that they're going to send out a paper. It's got everybody's name on it. It's got your time that you're going to take your test and who your trainer is going to be. As of this video, Robert, from what I've heard, is the hardest, I guess, out of all the trainers that they have. If you have him as your trainer and you pass, that's a big feat. Yeah, you should definitely be proud of yourself. He doesn't cut corners. I don't think any of the trainers are cut corners, but he is pretty by the book for sure. So you're going to get your time and what day you're going to be taking your test. Make sure that you're there at least 15-20 minutes early. You don't want to be late. You show up late to your test and you pretty much auto fail. And they're going to have to reschedule you. So show up for your test. You're going to run into whoever your trainer is. You got the computer. They're going to hit start or whatever, and it's going to generate a random number. So you're going to get either a 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that's going to determine what you're going to be doing for your pre-trip inspection. Like I said in my other videos, if you pull a 1, you have the driver's side door forward to the engine cab. If you pull a 2, you've got the rear of the trailer and the coupling. If you pull a 3, it's going to be the coupling and the trailer. And if you pull a 4, you got to do the whole entire truck. So it's really important that you pay attention, study, you know that pre-trip in and out, because you never know what number you're going to get. So you do the pre-trip, then after the pre-trip on the outside is done, you're going to go do the interior trip of the cab. Now, again, you got to know a good chunk of stuff on the inside of the truck and the outside. So you'll get inside, you'll do your pre-trip. What I like to do is kind of do like a cinnamon roll spiral circle. Start driver's side, mirrors, work your way all the way around, hit the floor, hit your gear shift, go up to the steering wheel, hit all your blinkers, your lights, hit your gauges, just get it all around so that way you don't forget anything. If you go back and forth, high probability that you're going to forget something. So you do your interior pre-trip. After that, you do your brake test, which they have an acronym for it, which is called SAIL. So you do your brake test there. That's one of the things that if you don't do it exactly right, it is something that you can auto fail. So make sure that you do the steps, you have that memorized, what you're supposed to do, in and out. After that, you're gonna do your TTDS, TTDS, your trailer brake test, your tractor brake test. You're gonna go forward, check your service brakes. You're gonna do the hard stop kind of a thing. That's the one that you need to make sure that you get right in the proper order, or you could auto fail it. After you pass that, you move on to the next section, which is going to be your backing maneuvers. You're going to do your straight line back. You're going to do your lane change from one lane to another lane. And after that, you're going to do your 90-degree backing. Again, I can't give too much information about it. There are pull-ups that are allowed. Just keep in mind, after a set amount, there are going to be points counted against you. Same thing if you encroach, if you go over any part of your trailer, your tractor, your tires, goes over the cone line, those are going to be heavy points taken off of your score. You have to have so many points enabled to pass that part and then move on to the driving portion. So word of advice, whatever you do, don't cross the cone. If you need to, do a few pull-ups. The pull-ups are gonna count less points versus you going over the cones. So that's just some advice there. Do your 90-degree. After your 90-degree is done, then you move on to the driving portion. Now during week 3, they take you out on the routes you're going to be on. Now they have a couple different test routes, so it's not necessarily the same route every single time you take a test, but they take you out on the routes that they use for the testing. So while you're out there, pay attention, watch your speed. Pay attention to the intersections, call out the intersections, railroad crossing tracks, make sure that you slow down before you come up to those. Call out outage, that's what they want you to say before you do that. Pay attention to your low-hanging bridges, any type of signs that are out there, your speed limit signs, no U-turns, stuff like that. Anything that's going to be on your side, the directions you're facing that could apply to you. Make sure that you pay attention to those. Just be on the safe side when you're driving for your test. Just call everything out. That way you don't miss anything. Again, it's a point system. He's going to be sitting there tapping on his tablet. When you get things, when you don't get things, and then when you get back to the yard, they're just going to add it all up or whatever, and it's either going to be a pass or a fail, but you definitely want to make sure that you don't have way too many points. Again, watch the curves. Your trailer, your tractor touches the curb, rubs up against it, goes over the curb, it's an automatic fail. So then you have to go back and they have to reschedule you to take your test over again. I had my test on Friday. Got about 3/4 of the way through the driving portion, brushed up against that curb, barely hit it, but I hit the curb, had to retake it. So just keep that in mind. I had to hang out over the weekend, and I retested on Monday. Passed the driving portion, and it's good. Oh, I will say that like I said, there's 3 sections of the test. If you go through the pre-trip, you pass that fine, you move on to your backing, but you fail your backing. When you come back to retest, you don't have to do the pre-trip over again. You basically just start from the backing, pass your backing, and then go to your road test. Same thing as if you get all the way through it, pass the pre-trip, pass your backing, but you fail your road test. When you come back to retest, that's all you have to do is just the road test. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to stress as much as having to do the whole entire thing over again if you've got, past section 1 and 2. So that's something that's kind of nice to keep in mind. After you get back, like I said, he's going to add all the points up, make sure you pass, or find out if you pass or not. After that, you're going to go inside, you can do some paperwork, double check everything, your license number, your name, things like that. He's going to give you a sealed envelope. It says do not open, DMV only. When you get done you'll actually take that to the DMV, and then they'll issue out your license. For me, like I said, I'm from Texas. I had to fly back here, obviously get my license in the state that I'm from, which is Texas. They already had everything in the computer. They pulled it up. It printed off a couple of papers, had all my scores and everything that I passed for the sections, and then they issued out my license. If you're in Tennessee, they're going to cut you out a check, which you take to the DMV, and that pays for your test. If you come from out of state, I had to fight to get mine, but I did get a check so that I could take it with me to the DMV here, which paid for my license. But I guess they were saying because a bunch of different states, they have different prices, they fluctuate, they don't want to keep track of all of them, which I can understand. So just keep that in mind. And I do know that while you're at the DMV, a lot of companies will actually pay you more if you have your hazmat, and in a lot of cases will reimburse you back for the cost of getting your hazmat. So it's something to think about while you're at the DMV. If you want to study, get your DMV, get your hazmat taken care of. Well, anyways, that's about it for this video. Wish everybody luck, and we'll catch you next time. Till then, I'm out.